第一秘書のお前しかいないんだ。やってくれるな。はい。人間の多い大都市に連れて行くのはまだちょっと心配なんだよな。よし、揃ったな。留守は任せたぞ、シオ。はい、いってらっしゃいませ。
Blue Deathu, Scarlet Red Meteor. What's going on, guys? All right, we're talking about Slime Season 4, Episode 4. This was just a fire episode. From the very beginning, I was dying of laughter. I'm not even being like jokey about it. Like I was like, it's just so dumb. The Scarlet Red Meteor, the flames that no one ever sees. But like, what is it? What is the fuck did they say? This is something so dumb. Well, this is something so dumb. What did they say? Oh yeah, the flames that no one returns alive from. the blue flame. I love that it's just Veldora and Rimuru and Ramirez and Milim just messing around in the dungeon, and they've messed around so much and they've gotten so good at these avatars that they have just gotten so much renown from not only from the dungeon but like from all of the participants in the dungeon, and they now have like a stigma, and they now have like a not brand, but they have like a renown behind them now as like these very feared, four people or four monsters that are formidable. And it was just so freaking funny. Then they go in and they talk more about the dungeon. And they talk about Masayuki, who, he's, because his stupid crazy luck stat that he's gotten all of like of the rare drops and stuff. And because that's videoed and it's displayed to people, like that's gotten them really hyped. So basically the dungeon is just flooding in tons of people and tons of money. And the hero is there, the hero of the people, of the humans, it is there too. So that makes a huge difference. So just the whole starting off of the episode was just like peak hilarity, right? Then, after they talk about the dungeon dominators, then we see that they have a guest, and we find out that what's her name? Hold on. What the hell is her name? Damn it, I can't remember her name. Freya. So Freya's here, and she comes to collect Milim, because Milim, as you know, she runs the country, and she has Freya there, and she comes because she's been messing around. So she comes and she collects her, which is funny. And Rimuru and Veldora go like, so that's a whole funny thing. And then eventually Rimuru gets in trouble with Shuna as well, for like the same reason of messing around and stuff. And she's like, "Yo, what you been doing, son?" And he gets in trouble and stuff. So I just thought that was just like peak hilarity. Then we go on to like one of my favorite things, which is like politics, right? And now the politics is the human council in part of I think they're in the eastern regions. What they're talking about is talking about getting, because the Forest of Jorah is around, they're talking about accepting Rimuru into the council, and they're debating about that. And Rimuru sent Hinata as like representative essentially, and she's making comparisons between this human council of idiots and the Forest of Jorah, the Tempest Council that he's had with the different people, the different powers and stuff. She's like, this is not even, this is like children and adults in comparison. And they end up accepting him for selfish reasons, because they want to be protected by him, but they also want to associate rules around it. So they're gonna have a crazy wake-up call, when that happens. One of the princes of the 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭 kingdom, I think it is, tried to recruit Hinata, and she basically said, "F you, bro. Like I side with the demon lord Rimuru." And then Rimuru at the end of the episode goes to take off to go meet with the council to hear their stipulations and rules. Like they seem. It's crazy. They're gonna have such a crazy wake-up call, along with the Razo girl, who thinks that she's just controlling of everything, and she's just going to continue to do the same thing with Rimuru and stuff, like she's about to get a crazy wake-up call. And I'm excited for it. We already discussed, like, I don't think Yuki's actually being mind control. I think he's playing the part and stuff like that. And whatever is going to come next. But she's also going to attempt to do the same thing to Rimuru and probably his subordinates. And it's just not going to happen. And he's probably going to allow it to happen, like, like playfully kind of thing. Like when Hinata believed that he was dead kind of deal. But it's just, she's just going to get destroyed in the best way possible. So I love it, and anyways, the episode ends with Shion trying to go along, and Rimuru's like, nah, you need to be here to protect Tempest, you know what I mean? So he takes off with Shuna and Benimaru, and they go to visit the council. And next week next week's episode is called The First Step, which I imagine is gonna be, again, him joining like that human council, because that's kind of the goal, is to have relationships with the humans and less divide. And even during the human council's mediation, they agree that most of the cities, or most of the countries that they represent, most of the kingdoms that each of these people represent, they've all acknowledged that monster attacks and things of that nature have gone significantly down since the Forest of Jura took over, right? Because most of the monsters have migrated. The intelligent monsters have all migrated, to the Forest of Jura, and are working under Rimuru. And it's because none of them realized that a lot of the monsters weren't necessarily attacking and stuff out of maliciousness. They were attacking out of necessity, and they're gonna die and stuff like that. So now that they have a semblance of, not kinship, but like they have a purpose, they have a place, they have jobs, they have lives, you know what I mean? It's changed. So that's one of the things that, he can bring to the table, is like, yeah, you're not going to look down at us though, and right now they're still looking down at him. And it's like, bro, he could destroy all, Diablo come in, just take you all out. He wouldn't even need, Rimuru doesn't even need to get hands. Diablo could come in and just take you all out. So anyways, I just thought it was really fun and interesting, and it's part of the thing I love the most. So I'm really excited for next week, because I want to see him talk with the humans, especially because, when the prince was trying to, test Rimuru, it's like, bro, like you're like, it's not even fire. Like you're playing with like an active bomb, you know what I mean? And there's no wire to cut, like crazy. Anyways, this episode was an easy 9 out of 10 for me. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was so interesting, and it was a perfect episode for what it was trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? It obviously, I wouldn't put it against like the best Attack on Titan episode, but within its realm of this show, for what it was trying to do, maybe an 8. Let me give it an 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10 means like it's one of the best episodes of the year. I don't think that. Let me go with 8 out of 10. Like 8 out of 10 is where I land on the episode, but my enjoyment, don't get it twisted, it was 9 out of 10. I loved everything the episode did. Like there's really no faults in it this week. All right, I'll see you guys next week for episode number 5. This is number 4, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 5. Cinco. Peace.